You don't have to be quiet yet.
What?
I say you don't have to be quiet yet because I'm just sitting here waiting. She hasn't shown up yet. Is that your new shirt?
What?
Is that your new shirt?
No, this is the old one.
Oh. I look forward to seeing the new one. Son of a bitch.
Hi.
Good morning.
Just you and me. Does everybody else misunderstand your email about when you were going to be gone?
No, Linda had to play for a funeral today.
Oh, okay.
And Carol, who I've been staying in touch with.
Yeah, how is all of that?
Actually, I think it's going as well as it possibly could. He's gotten through 8 of 12 treatments. They're apparently very extreme. And
There's some new pancreatic treatments that I've been reading about or hearing about.
I know, I did too yesterday. I hadn't heard about it before. I don't know whether that's available yet or not.
Right. Although usually there's people involved in trials to even get it to that newsworthy stance. I mean, my mother had leukemia in the late 1960s, in 1969, and she had bone marrow transplant, which was super, super new at that point in time, and still really and it didn't really help her.
Oh.
But and then my nephew's partner had pancreatic cancer in her late 30s. She died a couple of summers ago. But she was at Dana-Farber, and there were new experimental drugs that were still in testing phase. But if you fit whatever profile they're looking for, you can be one of those early people who get it before it's really in the market, because they have to test it on, people, and you hope that it works. You hope it works,
Yeah.
Oh, that must be so hard. Yeah, I have too many friends who have died of pancreatic cancer. So.
I know, that's really
so horrible.
George's wife died of that. George Hoffman. And she lasted a long time, but it wasn't a fun time.
No, my friend Doreen had been, she knew something was wrong, and she was 66. She had decided she was a kindergarten teacher and decided to teach one more year. And by the end of that year, she was exhausted and kept saying, "Oh, I shouldn't have. I'm just too old to do this one more year."
Yeah.
And by the end of June, by the end of school, she was just exhausted. And we were supposed to go up on a little trip to the Women's Museum in Seneca, and she said, "Oh, I can't do that this year." And then it just something, they did some heart tests, couldn't find it. She didn't get diagnosed till August 6th, and she passed away September 21st.
Woo.
And then there was another woman who lived down in Oakdale who had been really struggling with Lyme disease. So her exhaustion, she thought, was that.
Yeah.
And then with her diagnosis, she lasted 10 days after that diagnosis.
Whoa.
It's just because it can morph into something else, right? Like
oh, yeah.
Doreen was like getting, they had her on a treadmill testing her heart because everything's kind of, in that heart area, right? She could feel something, but the pancreas is right over there, right? And Sarah, my nephew's partner, they found it early, but they found it because they were looking for something else because she had endometriosis. So, so they cut it earlier. So she maybe lived a year.
Wow.
But was in and out of the hospitals a lot. And then sometimes she seemed better. And then all of a sudden it kind of stopped working, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, it's and it's all consuming. I mean, I just feel that with Rick, and he's not anywhere near that kind of ill, but it's hard to focus on much when you're focusing on trying to keep someone healthy.
Yeah.
As healthy or not as sick as, they could be otherwise.
How's he doing?
Well, he had Mohs surgery yesterday morning. He has 2 carcinomas, one up here and one here. The doctor, really lovely team of doctors down at Yale, decided that they should only do one of them because he's healing, because the melanoma is still healing, and he fell down the front lawn on Sunday.
Oh.
It's my one day with nothing in my calendar, and he went out to look at the tomato buckets because we were going to plant tomatoes and lost his balance or pulled a weed and went backwards. Not sure. He cracked his clavicle. It's a fractured clavicle.
Oh, no.
And he has a 2-inch cut in the back of his head. So we had to call. I couldn't get him up. I mean, I went down, and it is a hard hill. I mean, it's not really to be walked on. But I walked the long way, and I brought my telephone. I brought clippers to clip the vines so I could get around because I wasn't going to go down the hill. And I brought the walker, thinking, well, that he can walk back with that. But then he couldn't use his left arm. So had to call 911. They brought the ambulance. The ambulance was like, we can't get him. Then they called the fire department. The fire department came, and they just jumped up. It's like there's a 4-foot high retaining wall. He almost got to the edge of that retaining wall, I'm afraid to say.
Wow.
And so they jumped up and put him on one of these people mover tarps, brought him down to the next layer of firefighters. They bring 4 when they're doing something like that. I have had to learn. So, I mean, right now I think he's exhausted because it's both, going through something like that is, they're putting painkiller in your head and, your body just starts kind of reacting to the need to heal.
Sure.
It didn't take too long because it was only one. Have you ever had Mohs? Is like when they go in and they cut it out and then they bring it to the lab and they're like, oh no, we need to cut more. And then they had to go back once, but I've had it done on myself. I mean, I had it done just here in Norwich. And drove myself home. So I know it, but yet I also was in much healthier condition than he is to do that. So that's kind of So, but he was very confused yesterday afternoon. I mean, a lot of kind of just quirky observations and the like. So
too much going on.
I think that's all, kind of part and parcel of all of that.
Did you have the neurological appointment?
We did. And, I need to write something because I'm also going to see a bunch of friends this weekend. I don't, it'll be good to just kind of get it out and not have to answer this 25 times. But we did. And, it's David, I've been very happy with the Yale New Haven folks, but the neurology appointment was really just unsatisfactory. I mean, she couldn't find anything. I mean, the problem is, they're looking at all the scans and, so on Sunday, we are going to go for for an MRI. And they had told us before that he couldn't have an MRI because he has a metal clip in his head from the aneurysm. But now they apparently have machines that can deal with that. Although I have to call Pequot this morning just to go over all of that, because I made that very clear to her. So hopefully he hadn't done at Yale 25 years ago. The record should be there somewhere.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you what kind of metal it is or anything. I think it's a teeny tiny clip. It's not like he's got a plate in his head.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, because maybe that can show something. But, then at one point the neurologist said, and it's the same neurologist I think John Irwin goes to, Carol said,
yeah,
well, he is a 77-year-old man. I said, but you just don't wake up different. Like, It's not that this was a gradual, yes, I somewhat expected that. He had some mild cognitive impairment diagnosed from a neuropsych eval. But you don't just wake up and be as confused as he was and still have it be that way 4 months. He's not quite that bad as he was that morning, but 4 months later, he still can't drive or cook or figure things out all the time.
Yeah.
Or remember, we went to a hearing doctor the other day and I had to answer half the questions because he couldn't remember.
Yeah.
And then we got home and he started remembering things he should have told her. So then yesterday I had to call her back and leave a message that said, they can't figure out why his hearing is so different in each ear. And he said, oh, well. And she asked him like 3 times about previous surgeries. And then he said, oh, but don't you remember when they took the plate off my head and yada, 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 yada. And I had not remembered some of these details that he says now kind of affected his hearing then. But all the questions have been going back. He's like, oh, I think it was 15 years ago, but that was 25 years ago. So, just,
yeah,
which of course we didn't. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So we don't have any answers. And then we're going to do another neuropsych. So we have a lot more appointments. We have a lot more appointments. It's like every doctor we go to says more tests, more appointments, come back. Without much of an answer.
Yeah.
And I think that's the hardest. I mean, it's one thing to go through all the physical stuff. But to not know what the mental state is or the brain state. I don't even know how to describe it sometimes.
Yeah.
It's not dementia, there's some level of that, but that's not really it. It's what is it? So a friend of mine who worked in geriatric research at Yale met us yesterday. I had a cup of coffee with her, and then we went out to grab something to eat afterwards at one of those lovely little paperback bookstores that sells as a cafe. And she was saying that, the best thing might be to really think about going to one of these geriatric specialists who kind of can look at the whole, right? I mean, that's the problem is that the primary care says, go there, go there, go there, go there. Oh, you have a problem. This is urology. You have a problem. This is audiology. You have a problem. I don't feel like the primary care APRN is paying attention. And so I'm not even sure how much capacity she has to kind of really look at the whole, really figure out all those aspects, connections, or where is there a hole in the midst of all of this?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wow, Joanne. Tough one.
Anywho, tough one.
Hard for Rick too.
Well, yeah, because he's, I think he's in that in-between stage where sometimes he's just satisfied sitting and just reading the paper, or Patrick gave him a book on baseball or something, But not able to do, the garden work or some of that other stuff.
Yeah.
Either physically or just energy wise. So we're trying to make more of the garden is becoming a container garden.
Yeah.
Closer to the house, more like, no, okay, you're not going out front to do the tomatoes, but I could do them. But we're getting some buckets and doing tomatoes in the back, so he can have some of that to feel productive.
Well,
and we have our grandkid has been here for 5 weeks, really helping out with mostly WRL archives and the like, but also helping
good.
Rick, just helping with other stuff. And now that he's got the clavicle, he's got his arm is in a support thing. So which is more for his comfort than anything. But he can't hang the laundry. He can't do Tai Chi. I told him when he fell, I said, you should have kept up with Tai Chi. Maybe that would be helping. Although we don't know why he's falling. Is he falling because he's dizzy? Is he falling because he's dehydrated? Because he's dizzy? Or because there's something with the ears going on? Or something else in the brain going on? Like, why 2 falls in 9 days? Both of them with some injury. Skin injury mostly, but still.
Yeah. But
now, with the broken clavicle, he'd be in worse shape.
Yeah. It's really scary in a way.
And it is the unknown that's the scary.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a little easier to at least say, okay, we can do more therapy on memory or on balance or on. But if the balance is going to keep getting off because there's something else creating it.
Yeah.
It's not just practice. It's
yeah.
That I think is what's frustrating. That's what's frustrating to me. And then
absolutely.
we've at least been able to keep the home health aide coming to help with showers. And the PT folks, because of the 2 falls now. But again, we don't so the showers are the most helpful, right? Somebody's there, I know Carol has described having to do all this on her own.
Yeah.
And John's a much bigger guy than Rick, and Rick, I'm more worried about the falls in the bathroom than anything. So,
oh God,
that's why there needs to be attention.
Yeah.
And we're trying to see about getting a walk-in shower put in downstairs. So, working with a contractor on that possibility.
Yeah,
to do this summer.
Well,
so what do we do? Just do a nice meditation and then move on?
Pretty much.
Let's do that. I feel like Rosina's here and I've forgotten meditation was today. I should have remembered, but I think I just did. When I put in the no class for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Didn't put in anything for today.
Yeah, this class is meeting this week and next week, but not the following week.
So let me get that in then. So this class is meeting. So this class, this Thursday class, where are we here? Is meeting. The 4th is today. Is meeting the 11th.
Right.
But the Wednesday class is not?
No.
And then what about the following week, neither are meeting?
Correct.
Okay. I was just off by 1 class. Okay. Okay, that's all possible.
Okay. So do you need to do a little bit of heaven and earth just to...
how about 10 just to kind of get the juices flowing here?
I think that would be a good idea. Just calm and center and get the energy moving.
I think that would be good.
Although I think yours is moving a lot.
My energy is boing, boing. It's not that I don't have energy. It's just a little.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all over the place. I mean, luckily I am sleeping. But when I'm awake, I'm just having to be on.
Yeah, yeah.
That kind of thing, which is why the meditation is great. So,
I'm glad you're sleeping. That's really important.
yeah, occasionally I've had a few times where I woke up and I couldn't get back to sleep, but
Yeah,
that's the exception to the rule, not I have
good.
gone through some other hard times with that. But anyway, all right, so let's
Okay.
that came through loud and clear.
Yeah.
It doesn't always.
A good day.
That was really good. It's a good day. Maybe I just heard it from, the
Yeah.
universe.
Yeah.
All right.
So, doing a little heaven and earth.
Little heaven and earth. All right. Be right back. Okay. It's just I swallowed my spit wrong.
Hmm.
Oh.
Good. That seemed good.
I find that I really feel the energy in my legs
Mm-hmm.
in this practice, which is great because I don't
Yeah.
always feel the energy in my legs as well. I also have noticed, and I think this is just the tension. I've been noticing this that I'm just holding my shoulders too tight.
Ah.
And so this is a good practice to remind you of that, though, because you feel
Yep.
it. But then you feel it because you've been doing like, whoops. But
You,
it's at least an awareness, which I think stays with me then after that practice.
yeah, it gives you a place to release from.
Yes. Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's sit. Let that openness still be present as much as possible. And breathe. And focusing on whatever element you feel you need to release at the moment. Whether it's an emotion or something else. So scanning through the body. And then dissolving as much as possible. When you're ready, we can begin to close. Sending all benefit gained from this practice out to help all the sentient creatures of the universe.
Good practice.
Courage to you.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you. Thank you for giving me so many tools.
Good. You could bring the opening and closing into this, of course.
Yes. Yes, of course. Yep.
So,
yeah.
Any other thoughts or questions at the moment?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, I hope things go as well as possible.
Thank you. Yes, that's a good way to put it, I think. Good. And I will see you next Wednesday.
No, next Thursday.
Next Thursday. Sorry, I just looked at my calendar. Yes, I've got it right.
Okay, good.
All right. Have a good week, David.
You too. Take care.